Right, I need to resume normal service in this sort of worldview chats that we used to have. I've been distracted lately. I've had a lot on my mind. I've been doing a bit of work with someone else, and it's a matter of the two things can't occupy the same space, strangely. So I haven't had much to say about anything, and I've been content that other people have got the right take. If someone else has got my take, I don't duplicate my take. So I don't make videos when there's nothing to talk about. But when I've talked about something before, I like to revisit it. So something's happened with Mr. Trump. Point to this, just as a little snippet of information. People said that Trump should have got the Nobel Peace Prize because he managed to negotiate an end to the war in Gaza. Well, the award went to the legitimate president in exile, kind of in prison in Venezuela. And all the left were like, yeah, she deserved the award because Trump didn't get it. They were like, and they were all writing these eulogies about what needs to happen in Venezuela. All of them, all the bloody lefties were, because it's like, well, it's better her than Trump. That's their attitude. That's how close-minded they've become, how dead set they are. Where they're just like rubber walls, things just bounce off them. And it's like Trump, I think Trump understands a world that's much bigger than the one that they understand. I think he's a more experienced man than any of these politicians, by way of understanding that, the shit goes down, doesn't it, in this world? And it's a matter of this Venezuela thing. It's like people have put it together, and it's not conspiracy theorists on the internet. It's the word coming out of Venezuela, isn't it? That's found its way out into the world as to there's something really going on in this place. It's a funny one, because in my early days, the internet, I was a different person a little bit, less well informed. I was someone who had still lived under some quite childish assumptions about human beings. And there were interesting people into like, look, I can facilitate if you want to go and live in Venezuela. Don't seem to be much going on for you in Britain. It's like they'll find a lot of work for a man like you. And work for who? The government. Really? I'm like, yeah. Let me know. Let me know. Talk it out. Think it over. Like, you, John, it's like you could earn a decent wage just having conversational English sessions with people, because that's what this guy who was trying to get me to go over, that's what he said he would do. But it's like he had a background as being a leftist political activist who had some like quite well-known associates in the "we're all crazy now" movement, like the David Icke side of it. Been quite a convincing case for me to say, you should just ditch Britain and go to Venezuela. You get a fair crack at work there. They're building something. And it's like, it's like the modern version of the Potemkin village, weren't it? Been sold to some. The world there to be a completely different place, but when just a shock to the oil price, and suddenly the bare bones of the system, the right money system that's going on, dies, and then suddenly all you've got left is the fucking black market, which just so happened to be controlled by like the military. Chavez being the smiling face of a tyrant who had lots of money he could give. So I simplify the Chavez tale as the guy created an extra layer of government that wasn't funded. Called it a revolution. I'm like, nah, business as usual. It's like Chavez right, taking over the country was the drug dealers taking over the country. And there was a charm offensive. And all of the, all of the notable, the lefties you pay to turn up and have a voice, they were all charmed. They were all taken over and glad-handed. Talking about George Galloway, Corbyn, that generation, that gang of them. They were very much the pro-Chavez gang. And the stories, guy he's passed since, documentary maker, that John Pilger, who was around early days of the internet, broadcasting his documentaries about what had happened and how the media had played a part in causing a riot and a revolution and used it as an excuse for the army to take control of the country. It's like, nah, it's like that was two different factions fighting over what the country was to become. And someone piecing together what's happened from, the bits of film available, and they lie agreed upon the story of the grand uprising of the little people, the dumbasses you can trick, the people who probably actually benefited directly from the government programs that were unfunded that ended up taking the country down. The beneficiaries of that being the poorest, as to where, no, they were kind of radicalized into believing that we're all socialists now. And it's like, no, we're not. It's like, you can be anything you want if you call yourself socialist. It's just the way it is. And the whiff of the old Marxist playbook, in essence, saying the right things and having the right intentions of redistributing the wealth, all this crap is enough to pass a lot of smell tests amongst a lot of people who've already made the fucking mind up. So it's like, it was thought of as being, a great success story, and it'd be a matter of, the country it was before. It's like, no, ain't that a complicated tale? So it's like, it's a place as to where something like the Bolivarian Revolution, as they called it, something like that was afoot. There needed to be reform. But what happened was, rogue elements were outside of the system, were able to take absolute power in a country that they ultimately already controlled, like the army took over the government and called it democracy and the like. It's like the lack. I think the last thing I heard, Chavez last before he got announced that he had cancer and he was actually dying. He had very late stage cancer as well before he even realised that there was something wrong. People talking about him talking about a tumour removed from his hip the size of a baseball. And it's like, oh my God, you're like end of life fucking final stage. It's like, people have heard of cancer, mate. It's like, you will have had warning signs when that cyst or whatever it was inside you was the size of a pebble. You could have probably done something about it if you'd have been looking after yourself properly. But it's like, people who live in their heads, they don't think that far ahead. So it's like, in an aloof, almost fucking worshipped figurehead who's like, here, I'm giving free shit away. Don't you just love me? Of course you're going to love the guy who's giving free shit away. It's never free, and it never was. It's like that country going into a period of economic boom when it nationalised the oil industry and then failed to invest in what is a super highly sort of technical business. Really, really high-tech shit we're talking now. When you run that industry out your country and you're left with whatever's left to operate the equipment with no investment, it's like, well done. That place doesn't refine its own petrol, does it? No. Why? But, well, they've got the gear, but it's broken down and there's no one able to operate it anymore. The contractors that we rely on to keep this operation moving American, and they're no longer doing business with us because we've stolen their property with our nationalisation. It's like one thing that's definitely gone to shit in this country is the notion of private property. Act of thievery like that. I don't care when they say nationalise. You'll see it. It's like a socialist will call nationalising. It's like, you mean stole? You mean bought with fucking fake money or stole? Mostly stolen. Nationalised nationalised. Like, yeah, you've stolen another country's investment. It's like you did a deal with them, right? That you're seeing a lot of money out of, right? For them doing all the work. You're doing well out of it, but your method of distributing this money sees it going to too few pockets and then fewer pockets still. So we've nationalised the oil industry and we've kicked out the Americans. Well fucking done. The reason why that country hasn't collapsed years ago from embargoes and basically a loss of prestige internationally is because the left adored Chavez and were like, oh, this is a guiding, shining light. It was a fucking massive lie. And it's like, the bloke I was then was actually sophisticated enough in my political and economic understanding to realise. Hang on a minute. This entire extra layer of society is built, has just come straight out of this oil revenue. It's like, things happen. Things have happened many times in my life that have led for a boom and bust moment because of the price of oil. It's not a rare thing. It's been going on and off for years because there's so many oil producers in the world. So if you want a good reason as to why fuel prices are so high, well, the country with the largest reserves, its production's fucking plummeted. Them not producing oil is a way of, other countries in the world making more money from their oil. You can manipulate markets in different ways, You can stop oil from pumping and make money. You can pump more and make even more money. But the easy way of doing it is to stop it pumping. Makes the price go up. So the guys over in Syria who don't really produce much oil, but they don't have much money either, so it was really important to them. When the price of oil goes up, they're like, cheers, pal, for the fucking aid across the ocean. So it's like, what are you going to do when, right, the people you've lured into the country get wind of that it's a basket case and just fuck off, right? Take the money with them. I mean, the recent arrivals, someone like me could ultimately get on the phone to my mother and say, Mother, I've made a fucking mistake coming here. Can you send me some money to come home? And she'd be like, yes. There wouldn't be any question about it. It wouldn't be. There'd just be, yes, home you come. I mean, it's like when we're years past everyone bailing on everything in that country. I bet you there's guys who are in my situation who went over there and settled with the local women and have left the local women. When that place has gone to shit, it's like, oh, we're to starve now? Oh, me really easy government job that was, where it was just, I was just paid to be me. I was pretty much paid to be me. Has disappeared, hasn't it? Oh, money I've invested, car I've bought, really isn't worth fuck all now, is it? No one can afford to run that. So have you got a ticket out of here? Yeah, get the fuck out. And then anyone who didn't fuck off right when they could, right at the start, has ended up losing everything. Everyone who stayed behind in Venezuela in its financial collapse, lost the fucking lot. So everyone's being told, oh, don't desert the sinking ship, but enough of them did so. And they just escaped from that. They made the supply shortages worse at the same time as taking currency away, because the the whole thing being hinged on oil revenue, it took a massive fucking toll. And then as well, you know, the effect be then made more catastrophic by all these skilled people, those who've got the wherewithal to run, right? Certain kinds of people, it's tragic, they're the ones who've got the least invested. They're the ones who can run. But those who are sort of in the middle of, well, all my properties here, all my people are here, all my support structures here, they're the ones who get the loyal ones, could be said. They're the ones who got the ultimate shaft. Eating fucking dogs and cats. I like dogs. I'd feel bad if I ate one. Would. And they've had to face that as a reality. As an Englishman, there's something about, say, dogs and horses as to probably taste all right, but they're pals, aren't they? I think I've spoken of it often in many circles, but I can really relate to this day that we had that went on for thousands of years, where your best mate was your fucking horse and your transportation. Well, I can relate to that as to where, oh, he's bought himself a horse, he's coming up in the world. Wow. Horse could be the most valuable thing you owned. Probably was to many. The thought of eating a horse, perfectly a useful creature in any situation, eating a horse or a dog, I'm like, it's almost like cannibalism. Remember that great big fuss where some cheap supermarket chains, they did DNA testing on some stunt on some really cheap burgers, and it turned out they had horse meat in them. They treated it like they were humans in that meat, didn't they? The way they went on about it for weeks and weeks and promised that all these people would be held responsible. So give it a human meat, you'd have covered it up. But because it was harsh, you created this massive, massive moral outrage. That footballer, right, who slid his cat for a laugh along a polished floor. Now, right, there's a thing about cats, probably fucking enjoy that. Like, they like shit like that. They're crazy. So you got a video of this footballer, appears to be kicking this cat, and he's just giving it a right hard shove. It's a game. They've probably played it before, as to where you can actually, there is a game of the cat be it's frictionless if it's a really fluffy one, which that was, and you can shove them. It's funny, right? Guy shoves cat, looks, you know, it's a game. Shoves cat along floor, looks like he's just booted a cat proper hard and found it funny. And it's like, hey, my cat's crazy, look at this game we've discovered. Wee, flinging him on this polished floor. A true act of meanness was when that woman dumped that cat in a wheelie bin, and they probably saw her dead. She's probably either now dead or running some big firm under a false name, having walked into an interview and said, yes, I can do that. With that woman who trapped that cat in that wheelie bin. That's how cats end up dead, that. They starve to death, don't they, when that fucking bin don't get open for a week. I hate that, because it's not that you're fucking with a cat, it's that you're fucking with someone. And people feel pretty strongly about the cats. Certainly cat owners do. I'm up and down on cats. Mostly I think they're dickheads, but that's not an excuse for you to be cruel to them. So, but the trick is not to end up being cruel to cats, is not to get one. Yeah, because some of them are just vicious bastards who turn on their owners quite often. I've been in my household's history. You didn't know where you stood with them. They could have you. Anyway, enough about dogs and cats. But yeah, people reduced to eating the animals. And the things you eat before you turn to eating the animals, that's probably fun too. You've probably ate the dog kibble. You've thought about pouring water in the dog food before you've ate the fucking dog. And then once you've wasted the dog food, decided the dog has to go. Because there's no food for the dog anymore because we tried to eat the dog food for breakfast. Oh dear. You're eating an animal for a couple of pounds of meat for the purposes of nutrition that in a proper world costs pence a day to feed. You're putting the thing down and eating it for the price of what would be 50 penneth worth of low quality fucking gamey meat. The things have gone to shit when it comes to that. And that domestic downfall has made that country really weak. And I tell you something, our money in that place flees the streets, just has fled the streets pretty much, has meant that its economy collapsed entirely, that its money supply sucked out. And all there was left of the country was the black market. And with the black market, its government remaining one piece. That place for years has been a home for all kinds of scumbags. And you've got like a semi-legitimate export business that's been used for everybody's drugs. Now, I used to speculate that there was a global player in the world, and maybe more than one, right, who's a master criminal who's in the modern era likely consolidated the major drugs businesses around the world. What, John? Yeah, and then also there's the gift of technology gave them the ability to immediately get the fucking money off the street. How, John? Crypto. It's like crypto. You just gave them a place to take it off the street, just straight off the street, and they're all in on it. I'm like, how the fuck does Bitcoin get up to the price it's at? It's like when all the fucking drug money goes to it. Increases value. It's like the little game that people played to launder the money became the game that everyone played. And then say under that umbrella, some people got astonishingly rich and others got very, very poor. But it's like this, the value be transported into the ether. It's like, I speculate that the digital end or the digital world would have its own version of a Pablo Escobar who realised he could get what he wanted in any country that had a weak government, of people who were in any way vulnerable to death squads, that he could get the job done. He could make sure who won an election and who didn't, who got to run and who didn't. He got it, he understood. And he got involved in politics and terrorism. And it's like, them businesses today have got bigger marketplaces than they ever had in the 80s and 90s. There's more drugs coming in and going out consumed than ever before. What would that guy do in the modern world? Is something I spend a lot of time thinking about. And I also get to thinking about how nimble in the world these people, free to just go about their business, because that's what they are. How nimble in the world they can be when no rules apply to them. other than keeping it all moving. And they say there's an incredible amount of gear in the world. In the Western world, there's a lot of drugs being consumed. A hell of a lot. It's an incredible, massive, untaxed business that sees every penny end up in the wrong hands. Every penny. The dealer on the street, he's out pretty well. If he says in the business for the business, some are in it for the love of the game, you know what I mean? But those are in it for the business. They go out and they throw the money about, don't they, and promote the business pretty much. It's like you think as to what is possible now with all that drug money, and understand that this is a drugs business is like the underworld, you know, the old saying, as above, so below. Your government turns totalitarian when those two sides are on the same side. So when the political end is protecting the criminal end and allowing for people to become smackheads, right? That's when your government's been taken. That's when you're in a totalitarian society. It might not look like it. We might lie to ourselves about where the real power is, and that half the people you walk past are fucked up on something. We can ignore it, but that's the reality of it. That's the way I see it. Like, I fancy running for politics. We need to know who the local drug lords are. Okay. That's the reality of the situation. Because it's like one way or another without their nod. It's why I suggest to so many people why such dumbass and ineffectual people get to become councillors and MPs, certainly of the left. They don't have any bridge to cross. They've got nothing to do to prove their credentials other than they can give a passable Obama speech. And they're in. Oh yeah, I'm up for the old left thing. You know, the thing. Yeah, I'm in it. Yeah, I'm in it. Ooh, racist. Oh, I'm in it. There, it's as simple as that, isn't it? We all know the score. We all know what you have to say. And it's like, why are these people the ones at the front? It's like, because those are the ones who get the fucking nod from the cartel as to they'll do. Why? Because they're absolutely fucking useless. If these are the people that we have to fear, we're in business. Those people would balk at the idea that we exist to the extent that we do. No. It's not that bad. People so fucking narrow-minded. You hear the truth of what the world is, sat with drunken people around kitchen tables at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when the real stories get told. And you learn of a world where people have got absolutely no protection from the law. Not at all. You'd be a fool to ever fucking tell anyone on anyone. Because you can't trust the police and the CPS to protect you or not shit on you and just drop it because they don't fancy it. Leave you with that shit in your lap. A wanted person. So the fear is off the scale because the state appears to go out of its way to protect the criminal. Like in this country, to me, it's just downright obvious as to that's what we're in. We've got a narco-capitalist state in Britain. So where do you think the money goes? Where would you put the money if you were Super Pablo? Where would you put the money if you wanted to make it okay for you to continue to do business? Because, hey, they never catch the guys at the top, do they? And everyone else just jostles for position looking right across them. Talk about a fucking pyramid scheme. But at the same time, they're selling what is probably the best consumer product available to humans. Makes them all their own little small-time Dr. Feelgood. And at the top of it, a very big-time Dr. Feelgood. Like, who do you need to know to do the thing I spoke of once where I remember talking about Hollywood as to a man I became quite interested in and found out quite a bit about was a director called Robert Evans. Really do like him. It's the kind of trouble that Big Shot he was, knew he knew, and how much trouble he got. How much trouble he ended up in being the guy who always had some coke. And he weren't a dealer, he was someone who'd give it away to mates, you know, but then ended up someone. The movie True Romance is pretty much what happened to him. But it would have been a better, the movie would have been a better movie if it was actually about Robert Evans. Probably needs to get made that now Robert Evans is dead. They'll make a proper movie of how Robert Evans ended up in so much fucking trouble. Big Shot, he was probably the biggest big shot in Hollywood in the 1970s. And it's like, yeah, they got rid of him. How did they get rid of him? Well, he tried to get himself a big bulk discount, fell in with scammers. Oh yeah, we can get you a few keys, and it all got a bit fucking left. Someone ended up dead, and it's a matter of, oh, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm not a straight drug dealer, I'm in the business, man. We're everywhere. Coke's everywhere in this fucking town. It's like, if I have a party and there's no fucking cocaine, what do you expect me to do? Fucking go and find it in the street off some fucking idiot? I need a fucking big bag of it. And it'd be, well, going back to the point, what would you need to know to get yourself a big bag of cocaine? A really big bag, so you didn't have to keep coming back. A stash. Oh my God, the Venezuelans. How did you get in contact with the Venezuelans? It's like, oh, fucking hell, find their local politicians. What? Yeah, ask them if they know someone who knows someone. What? Well, yeah, if you give them a few quid. It's like, how do you think they got that local vote there? It's like they whip the crowd up. They put a few money in people's pockets. It's like, yeah, that guy's going to stand for them just based on the fact they're from Venezuela. He's their guy. Go and ask him. What? Go and ask him. Wouldn't be there if they didn't own him. You take what Pablo did or tried to do in the 80s and 90s in South American politics, where all the money's coming back to, and you scale it up for the internet age, where any dick with a microphone and a camera can suddenly become a propagandist. What would you push as hard as you could if you had money to spend on keeping a status quo in place of trouble-free business for your drug empire? Though, let's have it right, a lot of people are dependent on at the other side, at the supply side. A lot of people dependent on that fucking business, hell of a lot. Big fucking millions employed directly or indirectly by it worldwide. How does that keep the road smooth for it to do business? I suggest in its way that it breaks up, it works its wonders everywhere. And what would I do if I was a kingpin of the drug world? I'd have politicians who campaigned on shit. I'd push a Green Party candidate. I'd push a Labour woke as possible. Someone who gets up and wastes a lot of time and runs the mouth. So at the end of the meeting, when the people come along to talk about their concerns to the council, they don't get time to do that, because if you've got some idiot who wants attention and to filibuster, she's our girl. If we want someone to cover our tracks, they don't even need to know who we are. We just need to make sure they get elected and get up and just know fuck all about anything. So they can't say anything without putting their foot in it. So they can't stop anything. And we just make it so that they never talk about what we're up to. We don't have to own it. We just have to distract it with fucking nutters. Beware when someone off the street says, you'd make a good politician. It's an insult. It's in your face. It means a few things. It means shut the fuck up. But it also means, you could talk the fucking ears off everyone who matters. while we get on with our business. I say that is a thing in the world, and it goes, the money as it traces back goes all the way to the very top. If you wanted to attempt to cut the head off the snake to see who starts to give up, fess up, find out what you can go and do, and it'll be a matter with the drug cartels. It'll be a matter of you'll have to go out and kill those fellows because they will actually fight you. They've got more on the line than any fucking soldier in the world to keep their business going. Be serious as to what might happen when that side start to play games, but it's a matter of how much can the public stand of, say, a drug war between, let's say, the US and the people who suddenly backed by the US might be feeling a little bit bold about, you know what? Maybe this place would be better without so many fucking local enforcer type drug dealers and fucking loan sharks. And where you've got drug dealing, you've got prostitution going hand in hand, run by the same crews. That's what you get imposed on you. That's totalitarianism. Suddenly the guy with cash in his pocket and basic base products to sell is the guy who's still making fucking money. Venezuela become the home for such cunts. The place they've all been allowed to congregate. See, I've known this way of thinking, this mind just out in the world, laughing at all of us because it's way too smart for us to even get our head round. It laughs at us because we know nothing about it. Collectively, we know nothing. Individuals know something, but collectively, we don't know how bad this is, how big it is. They don't want to face it because, say, the bit that's visible works hand in hand with the bit that's not. There was a thing that struck me today. It's like a leading Labour MP has made a big fuss and got herself in the media to attacking Elon Musk because people are using, right, grok to take a picture of someone's face or profile and say, oh, can you produce a picture of this person without any clothes on? And it's like, grok will do it, or you can trick grok into doing it. Right, you can lie to grok and get it to do it. And this woman's going apeshit. She's saying, oh, this needs to be banned, this needs to be made illegal, this needs to be shut down, this is absolutely terrible. It's like, is it dissimilar from me taking a picture of you and then just drawing a naked body on it? Is it, where does this stop? Where does art? Because you've fallen into that. It's like, you bothered about a tool being misused by people who've got fucked up brains. And she can't face the fact that people got fucked up brains because that fact has been hidden from her, or she's not wanted to think that. So suddenly she has to come along and blame a technology for a misuse of it and say that the whole thing's bad. I mean, there's reasons to say that AI is, I think there's more of a, having thought about it for a long time now, I think it's got great uses and bad, but you can't give it any kind of authority because it just pretends like it fucking knows for sure. And if you keep on top of it and you know otherwise and you challenge it, it's like, oh yeah, you're right, because it thinks near enough is good enough, and it's not always good enough. It can be, but it's not always good enough. It was a diagnostic tool for all kinds of problems. Very good indeed. So what it's good at, but what it doesn't do well is parse truth from lies. And it can be quite certain that it's right, and if you know for a fact it isn't, suddenly when you offer different information, it changes its story. it updates and goes, oh, it's like, what if I didn't know you were wrong, Grok? You'd have, with absolute certainty, you'd have sold me a crock of shit. So it's like, in some regards, it's like throwing a dice. So it's like, I'll ask it for, sometimes I'll ask it for an update on a story, right? Something that's going on Twitter, certainly, a Twitter sort of drama. And it's got some weird fucking things it does, like rate someone's opinion by how many likes and things like that, and someone's the quality of someone's information by like the number of followers and things like that. And you're like, hey, hang on a minute. But yeah, you've got see, I can go off waffling for 5 minutes about, well, AI. Okay, it's a tool, but it's like I can waffle about it, and didn't cost anyone anything. But when you've got a Labour MP thinking that's the important thing you should turn up to the front with, as to say, this is terrible. Women and girls are being mentally undressed. Like, what? It's like, you want to control that? Say, how far does that go? And why is this a big deal? It's affected someone you know, or the thought of it makes you a bit giddy? It's like the government you're a part of, right? Is proving itself so out of touch with the reality of life in this country that it's really fucking making people angry about it. And what does she mouth off about? That people on the internet are able to mentally undress people by asking AI to draw pictures of them naked. Now, you can do that yourself with a pad and a fucking pen if you are so inclined. You can use the power of your imagination. Are you going to ban that too? Pornography is a thing. But there you go. Who's that? Liz, what's she called? Liz, whatever her face is. Liz Boring, right? One of Starmer's allies. That's what she's got to talk about. We already know what her opinion on every other subject is, but now she's taken on a new moral crusade. We must silence Elon Musk. Why do you say we must silence Elon Musk? To get your story to trend on social media. You silly bitch. And then the Guardian story comes straight after it. It's like, you think that's a worthy fight. You think that's something that's a politically important time. It's not. It's ridiculous. And you thinking that that's a big deal. It's like, okay, I'd like to know what you think is a small concern if that's a big fucking deal. At the same time, all nature of fucking working class atrocity and terror is going on in every town. You've got people who are concerned about people making porn on the internet using AI. That's what they're bothered about. And it's like, does this person not realise that as far as that kind of thing go, that the cat's been out of the bag on the internet for the best part of 20 years? Completely. And good luck getting to the bottom of that, because there's no real interest in it now. There's only interest in accusing people of being fucked up because they've looked at a lot of porn. And it's like, mate, our generation has looked at more porn, or our world's population has looked at more porn since the internet came out than any human set of people ever witnessed porn or any kind of stimulating content. It's off the scale. It could be seen as an epoch-changing, species-changing happening, that porn became so massively prevalent when the internet came around. And there was the governments as was didn't understand the internet well enough to attempt to even take the fucker on. It was in full swing, and every in essence perverted thing that it is today, it was 25 years ago too, and they were miles off the fucking pace in doing anything about understanding anything that anyone was doing. And they can't now go back in time and track people's activity. They can now if they really wanted to. If judges start producing warrants to cops that they got a right to come and investigate you, I dare say any of these data protection laws, you just wipe your paper with it. It'd just be seen as, well, it's just raw intelligence. We don't have to bring it up in court, but we can use it in an investigation against you if we think you're up to no good. We think you might be a traitor or a terrorist. It's like that. Your cat is out of the bag, you know. It's like some things that bother me about people who have just now become right-wing talking heads. Any mention of that great replacement theory, it almost makes me want to just give up. Great replacement theory, it's like, it's finished. It's like, it's done. It's like, wait up, it's completed. It's like you, if you were ringing the bell in the 1980s, and there were people who were, you'd have been with them then. But it's already happened. But the story you're telling ought to have been told when there was a chance to do something about it and actually address it sensibly, before the powers of the left, aided by all this fucking drug money in the country, because I've already given you the optimal strategy as to how to maintain a status quo silence. It's not that difficult. You put duck eggs in power where you've a chance to operate the levers. Duck eggs. And then every corruptible cop you corrupt, and they'll come looking for you for money. They'll come looking to you for money. You can have them off on wrong foot. The cops don't shake down the criminals anymore. The criminals shake down the fucking cops. Because the cops come looking for the extra money, don't they? Bad ones. Or to cut a corner that might see them not have to fucking get battered. Cop's nothing, ain't it, really? Cop is nothing when you find out where he lives, find out where his kids go to school. He's nothing. It's a fact, it's just human nature, isn't it? He ain't shit against forces that'll break every rule in the book and then lie about it. So we have to consider the role that drug money and strategically spent drug money has been transformative in some regards, in the way that politics has had the guise of some fucking widespread movement. It's like, what is the perfect engine for the broken idiocy of the fucking masses? And it's like, they seem to like the idea of this socialism because it suggests that they might get a fair crack of the fucking whip. Yeah, keep telling them that. Just carry on fucking them. But keep telling them that. You've come up with a decent fucking lie to tell them forever. I don't mean to fuck you, it's just a system. You didn't decide to be born poor, did you? No. Well, it's not your fault then, is it? All these fucking wondrous cliches that the lazy can say, yeah. I don't mean lazy as in knocking people down. I mean lazy with your thinking, having got a bit fucking desperate in the way that the world's gone against you, and not being able to find anyone who talks a lick of sense. That's how you end up in this shit, thinking like a fucking child for good, when everyone you turn to is as stupid as you are, trapped in a prison of idiocy. And then so the old basic, everyone deserves a new crack of the whip. When the revolution comes, I'll be one of the bosses. It's like you don't see past just replacing the guy. None of them do. None of it's just, this is just going to say it's for revolutionary. It's like it doesn't manifest as armies and really even that much terrorism, but it manifests in a lot of fucking anger and a lot of entitlement to light the spark of revolution. You go and check out all that literature from back in the day when they used to talk about that revolutionary spirit. It's like, how do you think that fires up? Someone has to break you down first, and then you're open to it. What might break you down? All nature systems of life that can go wrong. Leave you wide open to that kind of shit, that kind of thinking. It's like find a place full of desperate people and turn up with a fistful of fucking money, and you'll find that there's people who do pretty much anything to get out of the shit they're in. And that be a fact of life, that those who accept is able to put all this useless shit into labour and make it cost effective, and make alternate use of it. Live in a fucking sick world. Trump, when he goes and gets Pablo, when he goes and gets fucking Super Pablo, when he goes and gets mate, the guy who runs the fucking transportation, the guy who's part of the gang that's consolidated the supply, the groups he's a member of, the cartel of sons. It's like, hey, we've got pretty much free ports here. You can do what you fucking like. Get out of here. The lax operation and government-backed narco export made it a hell of a lot very, very easy for a lot of people to fucking operate. And it's like, this is, you had to follow the story for this to find out about all this. You had to follow the story past, oh, Chavez is dead, but this guy used to be a bus driver and a member of a trade union. He's one of ours. And he looks like fucking Stalin, and people are terrified of him. Maduro. It's like, who can slit his throat, put him out of business tomorrow? His business partners can. Who are his business partners? The generals. And who's their muscle? The army. So it's like the gang takes the country. And it had to have the heart sucked out of it by misadventure, the fake Chavez led. It's like Chavez died, right? And the whole country appeared to be then hit with some kind of plague. It's easy for the oil price to change, and then to accuse the other oil producing companies of some kind of conspiracy, because that's all you've got to play. Well, you fucked us, you've done this to fuck us. It's like, no, you've benefited from historically high oil prices because of disruption in the fucking Middle East oil supply. It's like, you've made up the slack. The oil price is high because of the effects on the marketplace. And we'll say when the price of oil gets high, it's like certain hard to produce kinds of oil become more valuable or less desirable. You want that nice quality stuff out at North Sea. Easiest to refine. Heavy oil that comes from certain places, it's like, this is a big fucking chemistry undertaking, this, to turn this black sludge into something we can fucking sell. So the shittest oil in the world is in Canada. Tar sands, there's lots of it. But it's a sifting process, and it's dirty, and it's heavy, it's costs a lot in equipment doing the work. It's very dirty, and it's probably very polluting as well. No doubt it is very polluting as well. So that's only worth doing if the oil price is high. Oh, let's do a bit more of this. When the price is high, it's worth doing. When the price is low, it's not worth doing. And places where you can easily get oil, places with massive explored oil reserves, they pick up the slack, don't they? Memory serves, the oil out of Venezuela is one of these that a lot of work has to go into. But saying that, it's like an oil like that's thick has got more derivatives and things in it. It's also got more impurities. But all kinds of other things will come from that process, but it's just a longer chemical process, more complicated than a lighter oil. These oils have all got different names as to what we're talking about. There's benchmark qualities of oil, isn't there? Like Brent crude. Well, that's the best stuff. It's all related to how long does it take to turn that into a marketable product. In some cases, it's like a lot of different processes. In other cases, it's a few. Yeah, man, oil refineries. I used to visit one. I used to visit Stanlow Oil Refinery. That's you can see it from the Thelwall Viaduct when you're on the way up the M6. It's like it's so big. It's like in between a couple of towns. But it's very close to Ellesmere Port. That's the nearest bus you can get to it. Stanlow Oil Refinery. I used to get sent there when I used to drive for a living to pick up battered, absolutely rusted to fuck, usually 3-year-old Hilux pickups. I used to probably do, how many times have I done that run? God, I must have been there 12 times or something. And always picking up one of these vehicles from a car park in a far off compound. So they'd come and pick you up at reception and put you in a vehicle and drive you through the refinery. Fucking massive. It's like workplace massive. It's like, whoa. And you find that they use Hilux. Hilux is for everything practically. And they get leathered. They get absolutely battered. So you find a 3-year-old car and it's like the paint's all, it's rusting through. The paint's gone. And it's like, well, these things get exposed to all kinds of chemicals in various situations as to where it's on the air. And it's like the way that place eats away the vehicle. As to when I take it to auction, it is fucked. There's holes in it. Because it's all kinds of corrosive materials ended up on it or around it. And then they don't bother washing them off or looking after them. I picked up one once from there that was in absolute pristine condition, and I was like, wow. And it had belonged to the maintenance team, and they just had it in their nature to look after things. The only ever the one that came from the maintenance team was in good condition. And it was in very nice condition. It even smelled nice. Where the other ones are all absolutely fucking battered with chemical spills all over the fucking outsides of them that have eaten them away, and floors that have been annihilated by filthy blokes with boots covered in fucking all kinds of shit, where they've been driving the things around in fucking hazmat suits and shit, using them for all kinds of pushing and pulling, moving things, processes, just runarounds. That place is massive when you're using Hilux trucks as runarounds and solutions to problems. So the oil business is massive. I worked with a guy once called Dave when I used to work for Woolworths, and he was a logistics guy from the oil business previously. So he was based in Aberdeen, and he used to be able to. I used to have an hell of a conversation with him at work. We used to have a right good time, me and Dave. Could get on with work, but he'd always have interesting tales to tell about the world as he understood it, having been someone who was like a mid-level manager, not on the tools in the oil business, in basically logistics and supply. And it's like them are the guys who know where everything goes. So they're the ones who've got a picture of the operation in their heads and shit. So he was tremendous fun to talk to, as to his ability to explain to you the scale and size of the industry and how it's broken up into different specializations, as to where people don't keep up to date with how advanced the oil production business is, and how it constantly ramps up its capacity. The better it does, the more money it makes. As to he's one who put it to me, it's like, as current estimates of the world's oil reserves are absolute nonsense, because we're like 10 times better at getting it out of the ground than we were just 25 years ago. It's like we've got ways of finding it and getting to it that had never been conceived until they were invented. Someone who got it right through to me, Dave. He was a decent lad. In the end, he got made redundant at the same time as me because they kept failing the quality assurance process to levels that it had to be reported. So in the end, the solution to the quality assurance process was to get rid of the quality assurance team. So Dave went same time as me. We don't like your bad news anymore, so stop auditing and don't come back. You're in a company that's failing and has given up at that stage. The Woolworths organisation. My mum, I was talking about this to my mother yesterday or today, supermarket, and she said, "Have you seen that television show Landman?" I'm like, funny you should say that. No, but I put it on in the background, right, and listened to the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and then stopped it, recognising I probably should watch that and not have it on in the background. It seemed like it was smart enough in its premise and what it was saying to demand my undivided attention. But one of the best talkers in the fucking world, and in a weird way, one of the most handsome men who's ever been on a silver screen, delivers a speech, and he's fucking amazing, sort of southern, like tight southern accent. Boom. They did say Billy Bob Thornton. No mistake to me how he was able to get his hands on darlings who are obsessive. It's like, what a charmer he could be and is. You know what I mean? It's like he's a talented, brilliant actor, and just say that the craft of the spiel he's got is just amazing. It's like, yeah, why not keep writing series just to boost this guy and give him parts that he's good at playing? Seems to keep garnering hit TV shows for Amazon. But he gives out this speech where he's been snatched up by some drug dealers. He's in essence on the turf, right? And they've been sent to negotiate, and he seems like he's in no stranger to this kind of situation, and knows if the guy listens to him, he will let him go when he understands his angle and what the reality of the situation is. And that's where some bad guys, some cartel guys, owned a piece of land that they like to control. It was their kind of turf. And this guy wasn't coming to steal their turf. He was like, no, it's like, you've inherited this. In buying this land, you've inherited this. Somebody else owns the mining rights to it. And we're letting you know that we're starting drilling here. And it's like, you're coming on our turf. It's like, hear me out. Fucking dealer gives them's like, right, you guys have to do fuck all. And we're going to pay for every bit of damage we do to this land. And you're, in essence, going to get a cut of the spoils as well by the terms of the agreement we've got. So I'm just here to actually give you a piece of paper to say you can get out of the drug business if you want. You just become rich. I'm just here to make you an offer you can't refuse. It's like, I know, but, and he says to this drug dealer, he says, like, I know your business. We're the same. He says that you're nothing like us. You're some fucking lawyer. It's like, no, it's like I sell a product that everybody needs and are dependent on. What do you do? So there's nothing between it, and those who understand there's nothing between, it's like the war on drugs, as far as it goes, was cooperated with and finally was lost. And it's like, if you want to understand where the money is, how much is it for a Bitcoin this moment in time? It's about $60,000 something. That's where the money is. That's how they've taken the money off the street. That's why they don't need to launder it so much anymore. They just have to work out creative ways of getting to their nest eggs. And it'd be a matter of, well, there's 1,000 ways of making that money move around, isn't there? And putting it where you need it to. In this day and age, it doesn't fucking take much. You don't have to be a super genius, do you, to be able to transfer value and currency around. It's like we create in the internet when we created the PayPal breakthrough that made Elon Musk rich to start with. It's like that just became the turned it for those who thought worked it out quickly. The best place to hide funny money is that certainly the cyber crypto. I think that the scam fits together. It's what they do. It's the best thing that they could have asked for to move ill-gotten gains around the world and to transfer value into something that's highly illegal into something that's gone. Yeah, I say that the money laundering platforms of the internet are just the best thing that any criminal empire in the world could ever have hoped for. They put their money in and other people jump on and they put their money into. It's like, yeah, we can make this thing fucking move. Keep our money off the street and change society in a way because of it. Be sucking directly out of it, directly into the coffers of us and our friends. I think we live in a world like that, and our politicians do not address that something like that even exists, but we see its hallmarks everywhere. Everywhere. Don't see anyone these days coming hard on fasters to say, hey, you need to crack down hard on these drug dealers. No, he's seen as quaint. Our culture feeds it to us as to say, well, no one's going to do anything about it. And it's like, the drug exporters in sophisticated people who, if they ever fancy a laugh, just watch some American well thought out action movie where someone who's smuggling a load of cocaine gets busted and they celebrate it as a big fucking. It's probably funny as fuck to a guy knows that they catch one in 1,000 shipments. The guy he's like this is a comedy about the fucking the worst crew. We feed them the stories that end up as movies. Here, give you a bit of chicken feed. Is the biggest fucking idiot so far. The guy who got himself caught, but he was on a similar mission to 1,000 other guys who didn't. Weren't anything like as bold or stupid as that coked up fucking idiot was. It's like, how easy can, and then just take it down to the micro level, how easy can someone be turned with free cocaine? So I tell you, as an experiment, you don't have to do it, but just think about it. Those who've got some nous about them would fucking know about it. You get yourself a great big fucking load of cocaine and break it down into bits and just hand it out to people at fucking parties and things like that. Shit test them. Fancy a bit of this? Boom. You have some of that. You have some of that. You have some of that. See what people think of you. They might think you fucking ace. One or two of them might think, oh, what a guy. Wow, hey, thank you. Hey, thanks for thinking of me. Hey, don't mention it. It's right. We've got a big bag full. Try that out as a strategy. Go and invest in a couple of grand's worth of cocaine and give it away to you. Try and give it to all the people that are mates yours. Say, found something strange in cloakroom. You fancy this? If you take it, you know something about him, and next time you see him, you'll be like, drop it in the top pocket. What might that person think of you if it was like, oh, Thank you so much. Just what I could use, just what I could need, right? Just what I need right now. Bit of action. Oh, you find those people. You've only got a fucking test for that, haven't you? It's like, what might them people think? Hey, he's all right. Yeah, he's all right. I'm not knowing much of anything else about you as if you're a bit of a cheeky cunt. And you have some, that you've got some good sniff, good gear. They're like, can you get any more of that? Easiest fucking game in the world if you've got some good dope. There's bits I see in TV shows where it shows an awareness of what the world is sometimes, but it never delves too deep. And it'd be a True Detective where it's like, I can probably set up this guy, this chemist, but I need something to trade. I need something believable and tangible. I need some fucking good coke. Right? So he goes to evidence locker and nicks the best coke that they've managed to seize and takes it down to these fucking bikers and says, here, get your nose around this free coke. Whoa, fucking hell, that's good stuff. Yeah, well, the guys I'm working with, they want to swap it for some meth. Can I talk to your coke? It won him the case, didn't it? Blagged him into his company, then become someone they could follow. Broke first half at case. But it's like, hey, turn up to convince somebody of something with a great big bag of fucking cocaine that's like, whoa. And they're likely to fucking believe you quite a bit, I'll tell you. They are likely to believe you. It's like, how much leverage does a kilo of cocaine bring to the table? Say True Detective Season 1, a tool of the trade. It's like Miami Vice sort of setup and game. Use the stuff that you've seized as the tools to catch the rest. That's why the copper gets to live on a boat and drive around in a fancy car. He's playing a drug dealer. He's an actor playing a cop, playing a drug dealer. Isn't that clever? But it's like, nothing makes a statement like good cocaine. People need to realise that. And it might seem like a frivolous thing to know, but nothing makes a statement better than good cocaine. Wallop. Whoa! Like, whoa. That's some fucking good cocaine. Now, everyone seems to think they remember cocaine being better, and it's just because they were just younger, and it could have been the same old shit that they're into now, but it'd be a matter of seems different. Because so a new experience that made its mark. It's like place like where I live. Last I left my social scene, there was fucking cocaine everywhere, and everyone was always just giving it you. I've left you. Here, I've left your line on top of bloody toilet. Fucking everywhere. And it's like, it's not that I'm like totally against it because I never fucking paid for any, but there are always loads of it. Like that'd be a reality of it. Well, my local pub became sick of finding bits of it in the like. What is that white powder on the fucking windowsill? Oh, it's cocaine. Oh, a class A drug that's supposedly like the worst fucking thing going. Oh no, no, no! So she started spreading Vaseline and fucking grease on the anything flat enough. So it's like you just bypass that, and it's like, well, everyone did just snide off the toilet seat now. Never had the guts to confront people about it, but had the guts to like try and junkie proof for the fucking toilets. Same woman didn't understand the utility of a fucking beer mat. And, you know, she wasn't for kicking them out of the pub, was she? She wasn't for getting rid of them to stop people from knocking up lines of coke on them. So I say the world we live in, right? The last time I went in that pub used to be my local. They had this situation where everyone was on drugs. Last I went in there, I went in on a Saturday night, and the place was had been so destroyed, and it was just after the COVID, and it's empty now, and that was the last time it was open. And the landlady, who had no one to serve, she was just sat in the pub, and she was directly behind me, and my mate was sat there. So there were three of us in the pub. I openly on the bar rolled a fucking massive joint for myself and put it in my pocket, and then went outside and smoked it. And didn't get caught because I just had my back to her because there was nobody else in the place. And then went up the doorstep and just smoked a great big bifter. And my hope was that the guy who owns the place fucking saw the video. I'd love it if he saw the video. I wanted the CCTV cameras to be like, look at that. Back when we used to have pubs, fuck me, them days you could get the word out, couldn't you? I tell you. People knew, people know. People have an idea who the fucking dangerous people are. You keep an eye on them if they're all in pub. Pubs keeping people civilised, keeping people civil. Gone. I wouldn't say that a pub becoming somewhere where everyone's doing lines and they're not selling it. But saying that, you know, most people who like cocaine, they like to get pissed as well. So it's not killing the pills that will kill the bar takings, which was a massive problem back in the old hacienda days. I never partaked in the hacienda. I probably would have done if it had stayed open about another year. Because I used to like to try things when I was in my teens. I used to have pals who'd be like, come on. But that place didn't used to take any fucking money because everyone who went in there were all on E's. Fucking E's everywhere. And I didn't have one of them till I was about 25, no older. Probably about 26, 25, 26. And I was given one, and I'm like, this hasn't done fuck all, this. And they're like, right, well, it takes a while to kick in. I'm like, well, I took it like at 45 minutes ago. It's like, and then I went, oh, I get it now. Straight into it. And I said, oh shit, I know what this is. What? This is a fucking truth serum. This is something from the war, certainly. Like, whoa. And I was in a living room full of people. I just came out with that and saying, this is a fucking truth serum, this is like fucking World War II fucking pharmacology, this. What the fuck are these things? And they all start laughing. And then I'm like, fucking hell, I see you've had it. It's like I've got no resistance here at all. It's like I'm just fucked. It's like anything you fucking ask me, I'll probably just tell you, and I'll straight up tell you answer. I know what I've been tricked with. Well, they were decent people. There were people who went on to be friends of mine, like pretty much to this day, and they weren't so mean to me. But it's like, fuck it, I understood. I come to understand so much, having been someone who be like, no, I'm not bothering with that, not bothering with that, not bothering with that. So they'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not got anything to do tomorrow. No plans? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, go on, try one. And then had the conversation with a mate of mine and be like, you tried them before? Because I had an old mate who tried everything. So he says, oh, I said, I like them, mate. I'm like, that's fucking just like secret agent technology. It's like, but you're going to you just build a resistance to it. First time you take them, you're just like, blah, 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 yapping, right? And vulnerable to being like jacked. And then from then on, it doesn't have that effect on it. It's like, oh, it depends on you, that. He says, I really like them. I think they're funny. He reckoned that on one of them, the world just seems a lot sillier and funnier. Everything seems, it's like a path to the bright side, as far as he put it. And then he let me in on the fact that he had been getting them regular off someone who was in the pub. And it's like, yeah, every now and then you'll see me and wife will be sat at the back of here, just have a few pints and not say a fucking word. And it's because we're fucking wrecked on the knees. Really? Guy was running the bar then when people were in there and usually, on the under the influence of like fucking pills. He didn't have a fucking first clue about drugs. He wouldn't. You could back in the smoking days. You could have lit up a joint that was more like modern weed that doesn't smell so much like weed, because there is some better stuff around these days, better engineered stuff. They've thought about it. And you went and smoked it in a place like that when you could smoke. He wouldn't have a fucking clue you were smoking a joint. Not a clue in his head. No idea whatsoever. Wouldn't know what it smelled like. So when he's fucking talking to people and they're just smashed out the face on Wiz or something like that, he hasn't got a fucking clue what's going on. Because it's beyond his... as well as that, he's one of them guys who thinks he knows everything when he's numb as shit, like a bit narcissistic, a bit of a bully if he thinks he can get away with it. But he only tries to enforce his version of reality. And his version of reality, there's no such thing as fucking drugs. They're beyond his narrow worldview. So it's like you could be in a pub with him where everyone was smashed and he wouldn't have a fucking clue. Made it so it'd be the perfect place to get absolutely smashed. I do remember the one time, right? Someone brought in a bottle of poppers, the old what's it, amyl nitrate, that stuff, and it's like, it's rubbish, but you're guaranteed a good laugh off it. That's what it do. Just a whiff of it, you just laugh. It just make you laugh. It's not funny, but it's quite funny. At the time, we had a very good laugh. It's like, that's what that stuff does. It just makes you really laugh. And someone had the bright idea of just dipping one in, dipping a cigarette in one and letting it soak in just a bit. And then passing it around, everyone having a suck on it. And we passed it round the tap room at pub. And everyone was just, for about 2 minutes, everyone was just absolutely fucking blasted. Every single one of us. Giggling our fucking heads off. And landlord's like, what the fucking hell's going on? He's like, what's so funny? And we just, all of us roaring laughing, because we're like, he's got absolutely no sense in the world as to, like, old people having a bash on it. Everyone in the place. Old, young, men, women, everyone having a bash on it. And it'd be, in that way, it's like there's a truth to a friend of mine who was a songwriter. He was not bad, but there's certain songs of his that he never expanded into being a big song, that they were just ditties. And he had a song called Everyone I Know Is on Drugs. I think he got pinched. Somebody else took its overall concept and nicked the guts out of it, because he had it as like a little demo he used to play. Everyone I know is on drugs. And he goes through, he talks about, and then he made another one, and made another song where he was trying to send the same signal out, called Extra to Spare, and that was too much of a song about drugs. Probably, otherwise it might have. It was released by a like fucking Polydor, you know what I mean? there's a likelihood that if it came around the same time as Ease a Good, it might have made an impression. If it had come out at the same time as The Shaman, it might have had something to say. If it had come out around the same time as Sorted for Ease and Whiz by Pulp, which was a hit record, it might have made an impression. But by the time it came out, it was such old hat that everyone had some kind of experience in the world of narcotic use, or certainly have been around drugs, as to where they're no longer seen as much of a taboo anymore. And that'd be a fucking problem. So my mate was trying to point to a societal problem, but wasn't preaching about it. He was of it, and he knew he was of it. He was just saying, you know, us on the other side of the street, we're all fucking wrecked all the time. And if we weren't, we couldn't handle our lives. That's what he was saying. True, of him and others. But they say there's no political will in this country to deal with its underworld, its social ills. The questions of dependency, not interested. Not fucking interested in addressing any of it. They're interested in chasing down people who say things that aren't politically correct on the internet. That's what they're interested in. They're going after anyone who dares to speak fucking truth. That's who they're after. And it's not that they'll bring the government down. It's that they might topple the fucking local council. It might show a nick of light. Oh, we don't need people hearing about that. Say, modern day narco-capitalism has found its way to the internet, and guys who hustle for a living are their way of thinking. It's like, trust me, I was of that crowd once a time when I was a sales guy. I was a king of what's the next big innovative fiddle, and go looking for it. And I don't see them as being any less or more creative than me, and see that in my approach, I was obviously shackled somewhat by the rules and what's socially acceptable and what's legal. They're not. Knowledge and imagination off the leash in a world where the rules do not apply. Come up with all kinds of wheezes and clever ways of using a few quid to just maintain the order of the system. But it's my firm belief in taking down Maduro that Trump has cut a serious head off a snake. And if Venezuela is no longer going to function as a place where you can freely export wherever your wares are coming from, that's the part of exit, and no one asks any fucking questions. It's like that coming to an end. It's like that will trigger a chain of events where those who will fight to keep their empires alive will fight to keep them. And I suggest that the mode of revenge could be sophisticated because of where their money is. And say, my estimation, it's why Bitcoin's 60. Hey, I got bought this for Christmas. Look at that. A Bitcoin. But nephew gave him, he gave us all a Bitcoin for Christmas, and he's like, I'm thinking about your future, and he thought it was funny, and it was, in the fact that this is not a Bitcoin, is it? But to those who don't know what a Bitcoin is, just for one moment, he was trying to detect anyone he gave a Bitcoin to, that they think they might have just struck it rich. I don't know if he managed to trick anyone, but everyone got the joke that he tried. Everyone got the joke that he tried. I've still got my Bitcoin, and I'm just thinking now, do I know anyone dumb enough to think, look, you know, while I've been in my house all the time doing some internet stuff, I've been doing some mining. Got something for you. Now, don't get excited and give him a Bitcoin. remind you this. It's a Bitcoin. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who'll fall for that. But it's like, if someone could, it's not getting them to fall for it, it's getting to just fall for it just for 1 second. And then you give it to them and you say, right, here you go, you can now have the Bitcoin, and see if you can trick someone into thinking that it's worth money. It's like, no matter how you dress it, it's like, keep a hand in the grift. Just remind you that, people can just be tricked for a second if they don't question. They could easily walk away thinking they'd fucking struck it rich. Just really depends on how dumb you are, and people can be dumb. I'm not saying they are, it's saying they can be. Anyone can be caught unawares in a fucking desperate moment and tricked into something that they hadn't bargained for, and this is what the world is. We as people, as children, are ill-educated for the challenges that we actually face. They think the challenges we actually face are actually mere trifling things that people get upset about. But I think, there's a past the point of no return thing with Trump, which is, I don't have to make that case. Other people can make that case probably better than I have. But they're like, that fucking Jeremy Corbyn, who's next shit. It's like, how about you, dickhead? Like, you have been sold the fucking illusion of what that country is because you've been taken on a fucking 5-star fucking press tour of it and been the personal guest of the fucking boss. Big friend of Chavez, big friend of Maduro, same to Galloway. But here's the thing for you, it's like, Galloway at one stage made friends with me, and it's like, you provide some information for me, provide analysis, tell me what you think. Well, in Galloway picking me out as being someone who was in that way valuable, but am I fuck valuable like that? My understandings of the world go like far and way beyond his, as to where for my level of thinking, your socialist leftist positions are actually untenable, indefensible. And just pile and pile and pile and pile and pile atrocity, one after the next on top of it, until it is too heavy to bear the weight of. So it's like, I'm diametrically opposed to a lot of positions that George takes. But George came to me as to thinking that I was someone who could be useful to him. I would suggest that makes George a very poor judge of fucking character, when he'd be someone who called Maduro a friend, probably. He'll have met him on more than one occasion. He'll have been a guest in the country many times for him to, and his payoff for that will be for him to speak well of. The guy was someone I counted as actually a well-placed ally and someone of knowledge. George knows a lot of stuff. Yeah. Thinking he's a mate to have, and he's not someone who forgets people who make friends with him. He'll invite you to all functions, you turn up, say, "Oh, hey, mate, you're all right." Have a few words. Have a few exchanges with the old messages, comment on the football, point to, "Hey, this is a thing, this is a thing." But see him, it's like you turn up in that fucking Andrew Tate's fucking dodgy compound, like prisoner of war house, and talk about the possibility of you like joining forces with him, because he's saying this week that he's going to start a new political party and become the Prime Minister of Britain. It's like, George, it's like you've just sold yourself to me as someone who's just a little bit naive and a very, very poor judge of character when it comes to reading people properly. And it's like, barring that, it's like not a bad person, an interesting guy. And there's a stomach there for a fight, but it's like, nah, the fire go against the wrong side, because that guy's someone I think can be lured, charmed, hypnotized even. Not saying I managed to, but I'm saying him picking me out as someone who could do a job for him is him being a really poor judge of character that he applies to the likes of Maduro. He'll go to his grave saying that Trump's committed some terrible crime by locking up a criminal that no one can get at. No one within Venezuela can get at him. The Venezuelan authorities, those be under him, the people in the state, they all know what the country is. You think they didn't resist so much when the US came for him? No casualties or anything. Not amongst the Americans, they just came and they took him. Like, hallelujah. It's like there's no authority in this country that can get this guy out of power and stop his mates from being able to do whatever they want. Nothing to stop this place being like the narco capital of the fucking world. Mouths off to Trump. Trump just goes and gets him. It's like, yeah, well, there's no one else could. It's like, thank you, Mr. Trump. Seriously, thank you. And then when it's a matter of we're going to take over this country, we're going to run this now. It's like, that is not the language of chaos, is it? It doesn't broach any uncertainty as to the quality of the command of Mr. Trump, as to where that place is not descending into chaos short of its tyrannical leader, is it? Not yet. Guy needed busting. He needed busting, and the ports in that country need to become run by somebody else. The ways in and out of that country need to be under somebody else's control. Its borders need to be properly secured by someone else. And then they'll be able to trigger a response from the underworld. And Trump might have started a war that could be bloody but fucking short. It's a thing, on any given day, the criminal empires of the cartels of South America could give you a fucking battle on any given day. But ask them to do it for a length of time. No. They've had it. If they can do things in force, yeah. But there's a problem now with the Americans and how they've taken the war on. This is the war on drugs. This is sorting out South America. As to where suddenly that great big business that they've got becomes extremely fucking vulnerable to air attack, almost like nothing else. There's nothing so easy to cripple with your fucking air power than fucking that kind of organisation, because it's static. So it's like those who are in the know understand that these, say, the drug empires that have made their home in Venezuela now are absolutely shit in the pants. And we are now vulnerable. These guys are going to come after us where we live. We've got nothing to defend ourselves with. Not against a government. On any given day, we can give them a fight. We might be good for an ambush or two or a trick or two, but the game's done against a government. They'll keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And us having half of the bloody country in our pockets not going to save us from those guys. These are fucking cowboys from America that are coming after us. Crack shots. And in a lot of cases, the best they've got of the sort of guys who are like, right, we're here to kill. They sent the best guys, didn't they, to pull that job off the other day. I mean, Delta Force, it's like, it's been a while since they've seen some action, isn't it? How much damage to their ability to detect things in the air of the US done with their 150 plane attack on that came before the extraction. The distraction attack, the air attack. You bet your ass they blinded that country. They'll have destroyed all its military useful communication systems, probably left its public systems intact and just took out its radars. Left it massive, left it really vulnerable to coming back. Because you can't rebuild that shit overnight. The Iranians found that out, didn't they? It's like, do you know when they've actually made a hole in your air defense network? They could just keep using it because we can't rebuild this fucking thing. Not now. Not without getting fucking blown to bits trying. It's when it's down and it's done. So it's like, take it as absolutely read that the command and control of Venezuela's military has been done away with. Like their ability to see what's coming has diminished. So it's like they're at the situation now. It's like, we can send the old B-2 fucking Spirit stealth bombers now, and hit you from thousands and thousands of feet, and there'll be nothing you can do. Drop the cheapest bombs we've got on you now. It's like, what a fucking shocking card to deal that is against the underground elements of the whole fucking planet. It's like people still talk about Epstein and wonder who he works for. It's like, you ever consider he might work for drug lords? His kind of behaviour, right? They'll let that go. Ever think he might work for the cartels? Ever you think he might be someone who moved black money for the drugs people? As likely as he'd be a member of any other kind of intelligence network. If you people want to get to fucking talking about CIA, Mossad, FBI, it's like, what about very determined criminal enterprises that are just experts in playing every game, exploiting every loophole? It's like, think about them. Who's got the most dangerous intelligence network and service in the world? It's like, it's not any of the governments, is it? There's not enough of them. Criminals with a sharp eye for opportunities in a marketplace are people who just endlessly peddle information, endlessly peddle intelligence, and don't give a fuck about the law. It's like, if you can't get your head around that that's what the criminal world is, and those who like to become more like them, you're completely ineffectual if you're going to be someone who going to set about to change the world. I don't see anyone changing that. Trump's made an effort to expose its international network and going after Maduro. The ghost of Chavez. I mean, what the fuck does that guy look like now? Salesman? He was playing the role of a saint, mate. A saviour. He was a fucking salesman. Certainly someone who's got something to answer for in the way that his country ended up boom and bust the way that it did. No real thought for its future, but hey. For 4 or 5 years, maybe a bit longer, it's like a lot of people who couldn't afford to feed themselves were able to feed themselves for free. And do you think you helped them? No, he didn't. You made them dependent. You made it so when things went to shit, it was so much worse for them. Well done, Chavez.